Welcome back. This is tutorial number 3, and we're going to talk about how to create waypoints and map comments in Aussie Explorer. So, if you watched the previous tutorial on setting tracks, this is where we left off. Now, I had mentioned in the last tutorial that our initial planning point is where this little campground is. And so we'll set a waypoint to designate that. There's a number of different ways of marking up this map and putting labels on and so forth. So one is a waypoint. So a waypoint we can position on the map, and we can also create a new waypoint based on some waypoint that has been given to us over the radio by people in the field, and that waypoint will be saved as a separate file, and so that can be used to export and then place onto a map on Google Earth or other mapping software. So things like initial planning point, where we set up our incident command post, ICP, where we find clues, all of those sorts of things, we'll use a waypoint to designate those areas. So I'm just going to zoom in just a little bit more here. So that's waypoints. Comments, we'll use those for things like, say, putting a label on this green search area here. The comments are not kept in a separate file. They actually become part of the map. And so when we change from this topographical map over to a satellite image, we will lose the comments, but all the waypoints will be maintained. So setting a waypoint, click on this little button here for position and set waypoint on the map. And then go to the place on the map where you want to set it and click once. And then go back and unclick that position and set waypoint on the map. Now, that doesn't really tell us very much. It has a number on it, 62. But if we double click on it, open it up, we can change this to last known point, or it could be point last seen, whichever you like. And we can make it a little bit bigger by increasing the size, and we can make it bold. And under the description, let's put last known point as well. And we can change the background color. There's a bunch of things that we can change on here, but for now we'll leave it as that. Now, the one other thing that we can do is, if we were given a waypoint over the radio and we had some numbers, we can actually change that position, and we'll set up another waypoint in just a minute and do that. So let's save this waypoint, and that's saved now in Aussie Explorer. Now, for example, we have a team in the field and they have found a clue, and they're going to tell us where the clue is. Now, we know that that team is somewhere in this green area here, because that's where they were assigned to go and search. So we'll click on the waypoint and just stick it in there. Unclick the waypoint button again and open this up. Now, this displays, I'll just back up. If we click on edit position, we just open that up, and this will show us our position, our lat and longs. Now we can change this lat and longs to different formats. We could have it in degrees, minute, seconds, or degrees, decimal minutes, whatever you like. So we get the information that's been transmitted by a radio to us, and we just might have to change a couple of these numbers here so that they're correct for what the team member has found. And we'll move that out of the way. I don't think I can move this one here, but let's go and save it. And that's going to move where that waypoint is on the map. I just need to change this to, oops. We'll say it was a shoe that was found. Okay, and we'll make it a little bit bigger and make it bold, and we'll save it. And there it is. And so that's setting a waypoint based on information that comes from the field. And I could have set the waypoint way over here and then still gone and adjusted the numbers. it will still work. It'll automatically adjust to the correct location. Now, these waypoints are maintained in Aussie, but they are not yet saved as a file on the computer, and that's what we must do now. So we're going to go to this icon here to show the waypoint list. And this is all the waypoints that are on the map. There's a whole bunch that you can't see on the map because they're way east of the area I'm displaying. But at the very bottom of the list is the last two waypoints that I created. So I'm going to highlight both of those lines and then come up here. I'm going to go to my save options. And because I have not yet saved any waypoints for this particular task, I'm going to go to a new file, create a new file for these waypoints. Now again, all of the documents for any one task will be kept in a folder specific for that task. And that includes all of our mapping documents, so the waypoints and our tracks. And of course, in that same folder, we would have subject information, so forth, photographs. So we're going to go into Documents, Task Documents, Current Year, and the folder for today's task. Now, there's no waypoint files yet saved, which we would not expect there to be because we haven't saved any yet, but we are doing that now. And we're just going to call it waypoints. Now, unlike tracks, which are maintained each track in an individual file, all waypoints are kept in one single file. So both these waypoints will be in one file, and if I create another waypoint, it will also be in the same file. So let's just say that we have received another clue from the field. So somebody is out in the field and they found something way up here, because it came in from this team 102 that was doing this search along the shoreline and the drainage, and at the north end of this little bit of a slough, they found a clue of some sort. So I clicked up here and I'll unclick waypoint. And so there is about where we think the people were when they found the clue. I'm going to open it up and we're going to name the clue. It was a backpack. And let's make it just a little bit bigger, the printing, and we'll make it bold. We don't know if that's exactly where it was. And so again, we'll write down the numbers that they gave us over the radio. And now we can click on Edit Position, and we'll just change these numbers so that they are correct. And we'll save that. And save again. And now here is this third waypoint. And what I'm going to want to do is highlight that waypoint. I want to save it yet. Save Options and Append to selected waypoint. And so this is going to add it to this file here. And then we're all done. Okay, now the next thing I want to talk about was setting comments on this map. So this search area here was search area 103, this outlined in green. And I could just put a waypoint in here, and that would be fine, and just name that waypoint just so we can have a label on this search area. But the other way is to use this comment position and set map comments. So let's do that. And we're going to set a comment right there and get rid of this waypoint list because we don't need it. Now, if I double click on that word, at this point I can change the size, and you can see it change in this little screen here. That's changing the size of the print. And I can change the width of the box. I don't want to cover up any more of the map than what I actually need to, and make the box a little bit narrower, and save it. Now I can't move this map into a different place. So I can't move this comment onto a different place. It's stuck where I first set it. I could delete it and create a new one if I wanted. And I'm just going to label this blue line. Let's label that shoreline search. And so again, I click on the position and set map comments. And let's put it right there. And I'll unclick map comment and open this up with a double click. And this was shoreline search. And again, I can change the height of the letter. I can make it bold if I want. And I can make the little green background a bit narrower and not quite so tall, just so it doesn't obscure as much of the map itself. And I'll save that. And if I didn't like that, oh, I want to make it a little bit smaller, I can still make it smaller and I'll unbold it. And I can shrink it down a little bit more. And I can play around until I have it looking like I want it to look. Okay. So there is, now these comments are part of the map. They are not saved as a separate file on the disk. And so if I change this map, so let's just, as we did in the first tutorial, I'm going to change this to a satellite image map. And it's giving me a warning now that there's be some changes to this map. And do you want to discard these changes? I'll say, sure, let's discard those changes. And now it's going to let me open up another map. And we'll open up a satellite image. Okay. Now, there we are. Just had to get back. So you'll see our tracks, our 50% probability area, our shoreline search, and this grid search area are all maintained in our map, as are our waypoints. But the two labels that we had made have disappeared. If I go back to the topographical map, they will be gone. Now, I could have saved that topographical map, or I could just go ahead and just relabel these things. So if a person wanted to put a whole lot of labels on the map and not have them disappear every time you switch from a satellite image back to a topographical map, then you might want to just use waypoints to label these areas instead of map comments. Okay, so I think that's everything for setting waypoints and map comments.